If you thought the Woodsboro murders were finally a thing of the past, you were dead wrong. Scream 7 has officially slashed its way into theaters, and it is an absolute box office monster. Shattering expectations, the movie pulled in a massive $150 million globally in just its opening weeks, proving that the American audience's obsession with Ghostface is stronger than ever. The hype was real, the theaters were packed, and the storyline delivered one of the most brutal, fast-paced bloodbaths in the history of the franchise. Today we are breaking down the entire A to Z story of Scream 7, so sit back, lock your doors, and let's dive right into the nightmare. The movie kicks off with the signature Scream opening sequence, but this time it flips the script entirely. We aren't in a quiet suburban home, we are in a high-rise luxury apartment in the heart of a bustling city. A prominent true crime podcaster who made her career capitalizing on the Woodsboro tragedies is alone recording a live episode. Suddenly her smart home system gets hacked. The lights flicker, the locks disengage, and the iconic, chilling voice of Ghostface echoes through her surround sound speakers. A terrifying cat-and-mouse chase ensues through the neon-lit apartment. Just as she thinks she has escaped to the elevator, the doors open and Ghostface is waiting. The brutal opening kill sets a dark, unforgiving tone for the rest of the film, ending with the killer looking directly into the podcast camera, holding up a picture of the ultimate final girl. Sidney Prescott. Cut to Sidney Prescott. She has spent the last few years living completely off the grid in a secluded, heavily fortified mountain cabin with her husband, Mark Kincaid, and their 2 children. Sidney has finally found peace. She doesn't do interviews, she doesn't use modern social media, and she has trained her family to be ready for anything. But that peace is shattered when Gale Weathers arrives unannounced at Sidney's gate. Gale brings terrifying news. The opening kill wasn't just a random attack. The killer left a specific message written in blood, stating that the original survivors will never truly be safe. The Ghostface cult is back, and this time their target isn't just Sidney, it's her family. Sidney realizes that running and hiding will only delay the inevitable. If she wants her kids to have a normal life, she has to go on the offensive. Instead of waiting for Ghostface to hunt her down in her safe house, Sidney decides to bring the fight to the killer. She packs an arsenal of weapons, leaves her kids securely guarded by trusted former law enforcement contacts, and travels back to the city with Gale and Mark. The trio begins tracking down the dark web forums and true crime fan pages where the new Ghostface might be operating. The second act of the movie is a high-octane thriller, as Ghostface begins picking off people connected to Sidney's past. We see a tense, incredibly claustrophobic chase scene in an underground subway station where Mark is ambushed by not one, but 2 killers wearing the Ghostface mask. Mark manages to fight them off using his police training, but he gets severely wounded, raising the stakes for Sidney. She is no longer just surviving, she is out for pure revenge. Meanwhile, Gale uses her investigative journalism skills to trace the digital footprint of the hacked smart home from the opening scene. Her investigation leads her to a massive, abandoned theater in the city's historical district, a place that was secretly being used to host underground true crime conventions. When Gale, Sidney, and a bleeding Mark arrive at the theater, the doors lock behind them. The trap is sprung. The entire theater is rigged with cameras, and Ghostface's voice booms over the intercom. The killer reveals that this isn't about making a movie anymore. This is about streaming the ultimate finale to a secret dark web audience of obsessed Woodsboro fanatics. The climax is an absolute blood-soaked masterpiece of suspense and action. Sidney and Gale are separated in the dark, maze-like corridors of the theater. Gale is attacked in the projection room in a brutal fight that pays homage to her original chase scenes. She manages to knock the killer through a glass window, but the true identity is still hidden. Down on the main stage, Sidney stands alone, surrounded by mannequins wearing past Ghostface costumes. Suddenly, 3 different Ghostfaces step out from the shadows. The odds are completely against her, but Sidney Prescott is not a victim anymore. Utilizing every survival skill she's learned over the decades, she takes them on. She shoots the first one instantly, completely subverting the usual horror trope of running away. The second one tackles her into the orchestra pit, leading to a visceral, close-quarters struggle where Sidney uses a broken piece of stage equipment to end him. Finally, she faces the mastermind. The leader removes the mask, and the massive twist is revealed. The killer isn't a long-lost relative or a scorned lover. It is the lead detective who was supposedly protecting Sidney's kids back at the safe house. He reveals that his obsession with Sidney's survival story drove him insane, and he wanted to be the one to finally write the ending that no one else could accomplish. He taunts Sidney, telling her that her kids are next, but Sidney just smiles a cold, hardened smile. She reveals that she never actually left her kids with him. Knowing the rules of a horror movie better than anyone, she had set a trap of her own, sending the detectives' team to a decoy location while her family was safely secured elsewhere by Mark. Realizing he has been outsmarted by the ultimate final girl, the detective lunges at her in a fit of rage. Gail, severely injured but still fighting, appears from the shadows and distracts him just long enough for Sydney to deliver the final fatal blow. The movie ends with police sirens echoing in the distance as Sydney and Gail help Mark walk out of the burning theatre. The cameras are destroyed, the dark web stream is shut down, and the legacy of Woodsboro is finally laid to rest on Sydney's terms. As the sun rises over the city, Sydney looks at the Ghostface mask discarded on the concrete, kicks it into the gutter, and walks away. The screen cuts to black, delivering an incredibly satisfying, action-packed conclusion that perfectly wraps up the saga and leaves the audience cheering.